Can you hear me, Jean?
Hello.
Hi, Jean. How are you?
Hey, Jim. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Tina.
Hey, Tina. You know how to unmute yourself. Yep. Okay.
Yep, no, I was just gonna say I had to reach up for it. How are you guys?
Oh, doing
Well, thank
good.
you.
Wasn't the sun tonight, just today, beautiful? I mean, I couldn't get enough of it. I had all my blinds open and, oh,
Nice.
I know.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna be
got,
a crummy week, it sounds like, though.
it does. Did you get else? Oh, hey, Greg, how are you?
Good. I'll stay muted for the most of the time.
Okay. Greg Westbrook, how are you? Must be Greg's muted.
Hey, Jim.
How are you, Eric?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good, thanks. How things on the development office going?
This hasn't slowed down yet.
Good.
That's a good thing.
I like that.
Yeah, same here.
Curious if this month will be a little bit different, as though like things were kind of queued up in March and then they continued through April. But you know, if April is kind of really like the slowing down point,
Okay,
we will see.
we'll see.
When's your next
Definitely.
deadline?
We had one on the 8th, and then we'll have one again, I guess, in May, early May.
Okay.
Hey, Brennan.
Good morning, or good afternoon, or evening, whatever it is.
Who even knows anymore?
No, I know, they all run together now.
That's unfortunate. You staying busy, Brendan?
Yeah, we're plugging along. We've pretty much chewed through our backlog though, so now it's like, you know, what's new? What's coming up?
Jim, any word on the plexiglass?
I can't hear anybody for some reason.
We can hear you. Oh, there you go. Wait a minute.
Look at him.
There you go. There, I just heard you. There you are. Are you there, Jim? Nope.
Oh, shit.
No, I heard that.
That is on the record.
Although we are recording.
We are. Oh.
Hey,
We'll get one
John.
of those
How are you,
reading
John?
machines.
Hey, Eric, pretty good, doing well.
That's good.
Hi, Caitlin. Can you hear me?
Yep. We can hear you, Jim.
I can't hear anything for some reason.
So Greg Hoteling, I see that you have a new name, Christine Hoteling today.
He's never going to live that one down, is he,
He's on
Greg?
mute. He doesn't want to come off mute. He's embarrassed. There he is.
Hi, doctor.
There we go.
There we go.
There's Jim.
Yeah, it's my wife's school account.
Okay, all right.
Greg, look like you're ready to do some gaming with us.
This thing's falling apart. That's how old this thing is. But yes, it was a gaming headphone.
There's John. Caitlin.
Uh,
I never understood the gaming culture. Mr.
No,
Hotelling, tell me about it. What, I missed the whole thing somehow. I'm too old.
Generation X, buddy. Generation X.
I don't know if that's a really good thing to really brag about, to be honest with you, so.
I was a good guy at Petrus, okay? That's where I started. and stopped.
I never touched this, Greg.
I thought we talked about not aging yourself.
Yeah. Did you see the gray over here, Gene? I mean, it's just coming in left and right since I haven't been to the barber in a while, so.
I thought it's all wisdom.
Oh, that's good. I like the sounds of that. There's Terry with the finger. Hi, Kathy.
Hello. Everybody's
Hello.
coming over.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Doug
Hi,
Finch has this
Kathy.
special lens that makes him look thinner.
I need one of those.
All right. Is everybody from our other meeting over?
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's all 5.
We have Gary.
I don't
We're
think
still-
so yet.
Give it a second for Gary to join us.
There's Terry.
Hi, Linda. How are you today?
Good, Jim, how are you?
The sun was out today, so we're doing better.
That's what I hear. Vitamin D is good for the
It
soul.
was. It really is.
It's better.
Sun
than
was out, but
snow.
it was still cool.
It was
Yeah.
a little cool, but I'll take it.
We might have Gary. There's a phone down at the bottom.
Oh, I don't, oh, there's page 2. I didn't,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Gary, are you with us? He's on mute. Gary, if that's you. 2669.
Okay, because in the last session, I was going to
Oh, I hear him.
make a couple.
That you,
comments, but I
Gary?
was muted. Yes,
We
it
hear
is.
you. We hear you. All right.
All right.
I think we have everything, so we're going to get started.
Okay.
I'd like to call to order the Canandaigua Town Board meeting for April 20th, 2020. And at this time, we'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I have the flag behind me, and Gary will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to
The flag
Of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America,
And
to the republic for which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one
One
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
and liberty for all.
and justice for all.
for all.
Thank you, everyone. Jean, can you please call the roll?
Absolutely. Councilman Davis?
Present.
Councilwoman Jorzak?
Present.
Councilman Finelli?
present.
Supervisor Menacott?
Present.
Councilman Simpson?
Present.
Thank you.
And Jean, can you also please clarify for us that the meeting was properly advertised?
Yes, it was.
Okay, normally at this time I would do birthdays. I'm sorry, I don't have the birthday list, so we'll have to think of another way to do that. If anyone here has a birthday, happy birthday to you. We'll make sure we take care of that next month. Something just fell behind me. Okay, excuse me. The written communications are attachments to the agenda, which was posted online, so please take a look at those things. At this point, we have our first privilege of the floor. If you're welcome to speak. We have a 3-minute time limit, so please don't take it personally. There's a timer that we set, if I can get it going. Is anyone here that would like to be heard for privilege of the floor?
Kathy, it's Greg Westbrook.
Hi, Greg.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So I just wanted to start out this evening and offer my view from a citizen's perspective of what the town of Canandaigua has accomplished over the last 5 weeks. And I call it 5-star performance over the last 5 weeks. To Supervisor Kathy Mennicott and the 4 town board members, Terry Finelli, Linda Dworzak, Gary Davis, and Jared Simpson, thank you for all you have done over the past 5 weeks. As an elected body, you have stepped up to the challenge in a big way. You have been supportive, engaged, listening, and leading to all the residents of the town. The way each of you stayed connected with each other and the residents has allowed for the whole community to know that the local government is where things really get done. So thank you. To the elected town clerk, Jean Chrisman, keeping track of everything in a disaster is really hard to do. So congratulations on getting through the first 5 weeks. I'm not sure how the next 5 weeks are going to look, but I hope that they'll improve for you, but a great job on your part for sure.
Thank you.
The elected highway and water superintendent, James Fletcher, also known as Jim Fletcher. He's been working really hard on every dimension of his job. And I'd like to make sure that the public understands that the job of scheduling, protecting the highway and water department employees, driving the continuation of the transfer station operation, which now has been known now as the town center, especially during this crisis. He led the water project to the biggest capital project in the history of the town of Canandaigua. Great job in a difficult time, Jim, to do that. So hats off to you. To the town manager and his entire staff, they've showed leadership at every level, from understanding the very complex issues under consideration and proposing the correct response required for our community to be stronger as we begin to understand both the short and long-term impact of COVID-19 to our town. In the time of crisis, Doug and his team has looked at every corner of the town to find the tools and processes required to address and execute the needs of our community. This staff has been working very effectively as a team. We are in the best position possible as we begin to start to prepare for the new normal for the town of Canandaigua. And finally, to all the employees of the town of Canandaigua, thank you for putting the community ahead of your individual needs during this crisis. The selflessness demonstrated by each employee to all the citizens in the town is remarkable and will be forever grateful. Thank you to the entire town of Canandaigua team. Great job.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to be heard? If anyone's thinking about it, and what I meant to say, and I'm sorry, but now is a good time to, I would also, before we go any further, if we could just take a moment of silence on behalf of all the people who have family members. I myself have lost some friends to COVID-19, and a moment of silence for all those fighting for us. So we could just now have a moment of silence. And along those lines, picking up where Greg left off, there's so many people to thank, and I always leave someone out. Obviously, everyone working in the town, but our firefighters, EMTs, sheriff, state police, all our healthcare workers, Ontario County Public Health, putting their lives on the line every day. And we're so fortunate, and that at this point, everyone's healthy, because in other places in New York State, that's not the case. I just read today, 25 teachers in New York City have died from COVID-19, 78 transit workers. So we don't realize, we take for granted a lot of times what everyone is doing. And in this particular time, I personally appreciate it, and I know everyone here in this Zoom room feels the same. So, and Doug, to you for your help. Being a leader in this time. And by Doug, I mean Doug Finch, for those of you that may not know him. I personally want to thank you for your assistance and for helping us figure our way out here. So. All right, priority business. Is there any presentations? I believe we have Chief here. Thank you very much for your report. I don't know if you're prepared to give your presentation, but we would love to hear from you. Your report was very informative. Thank you for everything that you've done in the past year. Your report was very thorough, and the floor is yours.
I think we have the chief and the city manager both actually with us.
Hi, John.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. It was, 25 pages long. I mean, obviously, I'll hit the highlights from a high level. Basically, last year in 2019, we responded to a total of 1,664 incident responses in the city and the town of Canandaigua response area. 299 of them were in the town only. With that, our trend for structure fires has been on the decline, which is great. That means that people are following our fire prevention message. We're getting into all schools, into civic groups, into nursing homes, and teaching fire safety, cooking safety, which still remains to be one of the number one leading causes of fires. But overall, the trend has shown a downward trend. So, but we still have fires. We went to 20 of them within the town response area. And most of those were either vehicle fires or cooking fires again. If I go too fast, please raise your hand, throw a chat box up there. We'll try to slow down for you guys. Motor vehicle accidents were on the increase, as well as EMS calls. For our EMS response area, we go to all ALS criteria calls, which is advanced life support. Those are typically the worst of the worst calls, where we assist the ambulance and try to get there quick to help stabilize the patient and turn over care to the EMS. And we did see an increase, like I said, in motor vehicle accidents, where we had 20 in the town response area and 184 EMS related incidents. Overall, it was a relatively quiet year. Again, the previous year we were over 300 calls. This year we're just shy of 300 calls in the town, which is good. But again, it's each year changes, ebbs and flows. So one year it could be a relatively quiet, incident-free year, and then the next year we could get slammed. Just take 2020. Right now, with everything going on with COVID-19, our overall responses have been on decline. We're still busy, we're still steady, we're still going on every single day. But where we average usually sometimes 7 to 10 calls a day, we're down to about maybe 3 or 4, or sometimes none. Again, that's just right now everybody's staying home, accident free. But with that too, is shockingly, cooking fires are surprisingly down with everybody being home. So they're practicing, good cooking safety, and our tips are helping out there. So just some other highlights, as you saw from the report, some more notable incidents. I believe I spoke to the board last year on this call was the County Road 28 fire we had at the beginning of January, where just the circumstances were the fire went unnoticed at early hours of the morning. Passerby reported the fire. It was during a very difficult conditions to fight a fire, high winds, blowing snow, rural area of the town. So that was a considerable loss to the tax roll and to our community. But from what I understand, that they're looking to rebuild. Others were again some motor vehicle accidents and a few smaller fires throughout the city and in town. Do you have any questions, or anybody have anything for me? Just moving on, just some of the social events that we go to all the schools every year. We teach fire prevention at all grade levels. We do a puppet show for the elementary school to teach the fire safety message. For the older kids, we bring in the fire safety trailer from our neighbors in Shortsville and run them through kitchen fire safety and what to do, how to exit the home during a fire. We also do exit drills in the home, or the ETHA program, where each student, and I believe it's the 2nd and 3rd grade, does a home exit plan and fire drill plan with their families, and they draw basically a map of their home and they submit it to their class. The winner of that gets a free lunch with us. And we take the student and a friend and the teacher to McDonald's usually for a free lunch. And then the whole class gets a pizza party with some firefighters. And that is very successful every single year. The kids enjoy it. They get to ride in a big fire truck and they love it. Other fire prevention education that we do is we go do most of the senior living, Wilcox Lane Apartments, Thompson Apartments, 80 Parish, some others in the community, some ARC homes within the town, and teach them fire safety and fire education as well as the other festivals and events that we get invited to. Last year we went to the airport for an event that was well received. Did a demonstration at the airport. We did obviously the downtown district we do every single year, as well as bring the Easter Bunny for Easter, all of which this year we couldn't do so far. So, any questions? Again, I could probably go on all night about all the fine things that our firefighters and volunteers are doing here, but I know you guys' time is limited. Do we have any questions or comments?
I just want to comment that, I said before, you guys did a great job. Some of the things I was driving by one of the calls when the one where Ben Kramer was off duty and basically saved the life in that burning vehicle, and the ice situation where the gentleman was out on the ice with the dog. I happened to drive by that too. So again, acts of bravery, selfless bravery that we admire greatly and appreciate everything you do. So only good things to say. I don't know if anybody else has anything to say, but.
Just to add to, I know we went through the joint study with the city and the town. And again, as I mentioned in the report, we are happy to announce that we have implemented everything we can in our control in the report. So we're still working on manpower. Obviously, we just hired, he's working today. One of our news members, Dan Fuller, came from the city of Salamanca. So he's a well-trained firefighter. He just has to go through our training here to learn our trucks, the district. So we're still building our department and still recruiting volunteers. Obviously with everything going on right now, there's not a whole lot of active recruitment going on other than word of mouth, and we really can't do any live training just because we ourselves still have to social distance, within the fire department, so it's been difficult, but we expect to pick it up as soon as this whole crisis is over.
No, we really appreciate all of your efforts, Frank, and everything all the firefighters in the area do. You guys are great. I mean, my hat's off to you all. Thank you very much.
We have a very good staff, very good volunteer force. We're small, but we're pretty muddy.
All right, John, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything.
Yeah, I do also want to recognize the chief. He's done a great job since taking over a couple of years ago. He's done a fantastic job with his leadership. But I did also wanted to report that, because of COVID-19, and I'm sure the town is responding to the loss of revenue as well. One of the things that I've instituted is a hiring freeze. And right now that includes, that second firefighter that we are going to hire in 2020. Even if we wanted to hire somebody, the civil service test that we are going to hire off has been delayed. So we are expecting a retirement next week, and that'll be frozen until we can get past this and see what kind of revenue implications we really have. But I did want to let you know that since you are our strategic partner and we're in this together, that there is a freeze on hiring. That means that we will, at the end of next week, we'll be at 12 firefighters. Right now we're at 13. I do realize that there is a contract implication to that. Understand that, and we're accounting for that loss of revenue as well. But I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page and aware of what's going on.
Understood.
Okay, anyone else on that? All right, thank you to both of you. for your presentation and thank you for your work on our behalf.
Thank you.
By the magic of technology, I now have the birthday, so I'm just going to sneak that in there. April 25th, Sarah Reynolds. April 25th, Ron Beament. May 4th, Kevin Pollock. May 8th, Karen Blasey. May 8th, Brian Van, I'm going to say that wrong, Kesliel. May 9th, John Guerreri. And May 14th, Jim Burke. Happy birthday to everyone. All right, now we have our agenda. Thank you. Next, we have continued public hearing. I know there might be people on this. This is a public hearing on local law relating to rezoning of 0000 Bristol Road. Can I have, I would like to make a motion to table this so we can have an in-person meeting with everyone present. If there's, I suppose we could open it if anyone here wants to be heard and then continue it.
I second that.
Chris, we can do that, correct? In this time of,
Yes, you have to open it and then continue it.
all right.
Kathy, would you like, if people are here to be heard on that, would you like them to speak up at this point so they
Yes.
know?
So we're going to officially open the hearing. I made a motion, Jared seconded. All in favor of opening the hearing?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now, if anyone here would like to be heard on that, we would be happy to hear from you.
So my name is Brennan Marks. I'm the engineer on this project. I have a little presentation to go through. I'm not sure if you guys care to hear about it now, or would you like to wait till the next for another month? I guess that's the question I have.
I guess the question is, are there other people here from the neighborhood? I don't want you to have to say it and then do it again. I don't mind if you want, I'd be happy to hear from you. I don't know what other people, it's up to you, I guess.
Well, I guess if there's anyone else in the audience that wants to speak.
No, I don't hear anybody, but
Well, I mean, if you want to give your presentation, it's
Okay, well, that's fine.
But we will need to hear it again because we'll have the hearing at a time. when
Yeah,
people-
and I can just briefly go through it, and then you guys at least get you understanding where we're coming from, and then we can hear it again, and I'll keep it brief both times, I promise.
that's okay.
I don't know if I do have a couple slides. I don't know if it's something you want me to share, or if you just want me to explain them.
You can share your screen, right? So you know how to do that.
Yeah, so you cannot start screen share while someone else is sharing. So.
Oh, that's because our agenda's up there, so.
Okay. I'll just, I don't know what you want me to do. Can I share it or no? Oh, there we go.
Now you can.
There we go. Sorry. So. Let me get to the top here. So anyways, again, I'd like Brennan Marks Engineering. I'd like to thank you guys for letting me talk about this rezoning in the future subdivision that we're explaining. There's a few things I just wanted to highlight, to bring to the table for considerations for this subdivision. You know, the state, the town as a whole there's a missing middle class housing. That middle class housing is that $200,000 to $275,000 range for a house, you know, ranging from 1,200 to 2,000 square feet. You know, the target market for this subdivision would be, you know, single person households, baby boomers that are downsizing, people looking for starter homes, and young families. So that's the real gist of what we're trying to provide with this subdivision. Some facts from Canandaigua, the town itself, is that there was 945 permitted dwellings from the last 7 years. 179 of those were detached single-family homes with a median square footage of 2,200 square feet, an average square footage of 2,400. Of the 179, only 60 of those homes were between 1,200 and 2,000. So that's 11% of the new housing market that's been dedicated towards that middle market. So the proposed subdivision on Bristol Road, is for 15 new residential units, single-family detached homes. There'll be about $250,000 each. So that's $3.75 million in assessed value tax base for the town. Town tax, just about $4,000. County tax, just about $24,000. In school tax, about $70,000. Just to kind of compare that assessed value to the hammocks, which is to the east of it. The hammocks is about 11% less assessed value per acre. So we're actually a more quality, more higher tax base with this use as single family residential houses. Some of the considerations that we want to offer is the town's National Fair Housing Month, right? So this middle housing, should I say, is kind of a big part of the National Fair housing. So we want to offer that up to the town by doing this 15 or 16 lot subdivision, which we require the rezoning for. The other thing we wanted to bring up is the protection of rural agricultural. If we don't do it in suburban parts of the town, it's going to be done in the agricultural lands. For instance, on the right here is a subdivision on the corner of State Route 21 and Bristol Road, which has just come up to the planning board, and it's 100% agricultural lands. The discussion about the traffic, there is about 3,400 cars that travel down Bristol Road every day. It was increased 200 over the last 2 years, over the last 10 years. So there hasn't been a big increase. Most of that increase is due to the hospital and the hospital's expansion. Potential growth for this subdivision is 30 cars. So we would only see less than 1% increase of volume. Some other considerations is this will be a complete street. It'll be very close to the hammocks within walking distance to the bus stop. There'll be sidewalks that connect to the city. You're going to connect to the hospital. There's a possible new trail. We own a 15-foot strip along the backside of the hammocks, on the backside of the subdivision next to the hammocks, and it joins some land which is very close to city land on Arsenal Hill. So there could be a possible trail connecting there. Also want to highlight this is a perfect infill project of housing. The infill is filling up some of these vacant spaces that are close to suburban areas, or urban and suburban areas, with less dense to provide a buffer. I mean, I guess providing a buffer between the high uses of the hammocks to the suburban neighborhoods on the west. So I guess that sums up my presentation. So if you guys have questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Brennan, can you please email that to me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for the background.
Yes, thank you very much. Would anyone else like to be heard or have any questions for Brennan? All right. So this, yeah, actually, I'm actually going to ask that it be tabled.
Okay.
So I'll second the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Are we continuing that to the May meeting?
My intention was to be to the meeting where we're no
The
longer in Zoom, but
It should be the next in-person meeting.
Yeah.
Let me just put a point out there for my client, and timing is a concern, and I mean, we're going to be heading into a recession here too. So if this delays, the project is going to start to become uncertain. And I don't say it's going to go away, but I also want to be conscious of the housing market and keeping that afloat.
and I we certainly get that. I mean, we could put it over and then, but I'm not comfortable with it until it's an in-person meeting. So I understand if you don't want it to get lost by the wayside. I don't know what anybody else feels.
There are a lot of people who might not be able to participate remotely who deserve the right to be heard. So I can only support the next live meeting.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's the water project that would hold up any new development regardless. Am I right, Terry? I mean, you're the one who could probably comment on that.
Yeah. We can't expand our system now anyway.
Until the water project is.
Right. Now, when they will give us relief on that, I don't know. If we
I guess. I was gonna
agree
say
tonight to proceed on that project, then I don't know if that could be used as a indication to the State Department of Health that everything was, could go ahead. I mean, it'd be up to them at that point.
The state's decision, right?
So there's that complexity.
All right, so I think we have a first and a second, and I think we voted, but just to be safe, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right.
Just Kathy, just to be clear, that
Yes.
the public hearing was continued to a date when the meeting is in a public live in-person meeting, correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have a new public hearing on improvements to the Town of Canandaigua Water Booster Station, transmission main and storage tank. We need to open this meeting, but that's, I understand, not needed, so we won't be having any discussion on it because of the bids that we received. Can I have a motion to open the meeting?
So moved.
So move. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and so the meeting is the hearing is now open, but as noted in the agenda, the public hearing should be closed, is not needed based on the bids that we received. So can I have a motion to close?
So
public
moved.
hearing?
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the public hearing is now closed. Next, we have reports of town officials and department heads. Highway, Water Superintendent, Jim. Did we lose Jim?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
I give my report. Any questions or concerns?
Yeah, is it going to snow again this week, Jim?
No, it's not, Terry.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a question for you. In your
Okay.
report, it says, residents of the town have been working with the staff to get everyone unloaded, but it's not without issues. Have you been able to resolve some of those issues or?
Yes, Kathy, I asked the guys from Saturday and Sunday about how some of the residents have been, I'll call, assisting us by putting their cat litter and recycling into bags. And that has improved over the past week or so. So it's gotten better overall with getting rid of the stuff out of the vehicles.
Yeah, it seemed to be going very smooth when I was there the other day, so.
I'd like to say that I want to thank Kathy and for her mask, Caitlin for making masks, and Gary Davis, his wife, made masks for everybody at the highway department to wear. And it's very appreciative. And I also want to thank the residents. They've been feeding my guys pretty good between Big Macs, donuts, pizza, subs, pies. The residents have been bringing a lot of food, especially on weekends. So I'd like to thank whoever's bringing that. They appreciate it.
Good to know.
Or our healthcare costs will be going up in the future. Right?
Yeah.
They might
Copays.
be.
They might not want this to end.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked to be able to chip in, and a bunch of us got subs for the guys the other day. So please let them know. We said thank you.
They are appreciated.
That's for sure.
All right. I saw Pam somewhere on here. I don't know, Pam, you want to be heard on your report?
Yes, I'm here. I just wondered if there were any questions.
None from me. Thank you for a good report.
Okay. Is Ray Henry here, and would you like to be heard? Okay, I don't hear Ray. Planner, do you have Eric?
I'm here. I submitted my report and I'm available for any questions if you have any.
I just want to say, please extend our thanks to everyone who's been stepping up to help transition to our web-based format and doing their part. And just please let everyone know how appreciative we are of that.
Absolutely.
Doug, town manager report. Who's Doug?
I might have lost him.
Oh, no, I'm here.
There he
I'm
is.
here. So I didn't unmute myself. So I said, it's been an interesting month, y'all. But I provided my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have any questions for Doug?
No, not
All
at this
right.
point.
My report, Deputy Supervisor's report. Tina's here. Thank you, Tina. It's submitted. Does anyone have any questions on that? All right. I also just want to sneak in here really quickly with an update on the LDC. As you know, I took over as Vice President of the Canandaigua LDC. We've had some meetings, and what we're focusing now on, we had a meeting this past week. Just want to give you all an update since I started in January as far as what's going on. We had a meeting this past Tuesday by Zoom as well. It was attended by Mike Manikowski and Suzanne Berry from the county, and I thought it was a very productive meeting. The LDC has been working on sort of the roadmap for where we're going in the future, and this helped us sort of define what we can do in the short term with the COVID-19 situation and how we can try to help small businesses in our communities of Town of Canandaigua and City of Canandaigua. There's a website that's up, which many of you may have heard of. It's canandaiguameansbusiness.com, I think. Maybe it's .org, but I think it's .com. I'll find .org maybe. I'll find out for sure. But if each one of you could do us a favor, if you have friends who have any business in the town and the city or in the area, there's a survey that's up on the website. The website was meant to be a one-stop shopping for help for local businesses to figure out how to get help during this time. There's a survey that's up on that, and if anyone, they've had great success in getting people to fill out the survey. In the first week it was up, but it sort of slowed down, the traffic has slowed down. So if you know any business owners in the area, please ask them to go to that and fill that out. It'd be great help. So what we've intended to do in the coming months has shifted a little bit due to this situation, but everyone is working really hard and figuring out, by speaking with Mike and Suzanne from the county, we kind of figured out that we could best help with the smaller businesses at this point while they're focusing on some of the bigger businesses. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about that. All right, moving along from there. Finance, Linda.
Well, I just want to make a quick comment that the finance team has been very active, as the townspeople or anyone on the call would recognize that sales tax revenue, which is a big piece of our budget revenue, is expected to be somewhat down this year. And so we've been working on ways to decrease our spend and predict our revenue. And I want to thank everybody on the board for all their participation, and especially Doug Finch, who put together a nice summary for the board so that we could work our way through this. So I think we'll be seeing more of that later in the meeting.
Okay. Terry, planning?
Well, we haven't had any meetings lately, but the topic of this big water project is really the thrust of what the planning group had been discussing all along. And that we have excuse me, we have a resolution and our pack of resolutions to consider awarding bids for that. Bids came in right where they're expected to. MRB was a tremendous help in that and getting us properly oriented and letting us know what we could expect, and that's what came in. So from a planning perspective, the project is alive and well, and hopefully we decide to proceed with it tonight. So that's about it.
All right, thank you. Okay, Jared, environmental.
I don't have anything at this time.
Okay. Do we have, Gary, anything from ordinance?
Yes, on the ordinance, we didn't meet in April. We normally have a couple meetings a month. We are setting up a meeting for the first Monday in May on the 4th. That's all I have to report.
Okay, thanks. Anyone from planning here? All right, I don't think anyone here from ZBA, Zoning Board of Appeals. Anyone from Environmental Conservation Board? Citizen Implementation? Parks and Rec, anyone? Special Events? Ag Committee or Drainage Committee? I missed anyone? Speak now? No? Next, we have our next privilege of the floor, if anyone would like to be heard. Again, please remember there's a 3-minute time limit, and I will set a timer. Don't take it personally, but those are the rules, and I have to enforce the rules. So, would anyone like to be heard? All right. Resolutions. Resolution number 2020-086. This will be tabled as the hearing has been adjourned to another date. I don't think we need a motion to table that, do we? It's tabled because we adjourned the hearing. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
I agree.
All right. Resolution number, I want to check my notes here for a second. Please bear with me. All right. Resolution number 2020-011, I'm sorry, 2020-105, acceptance of the monthly financial reports.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 2020-106, adoption of amendments to 2020 town operating budget and authorization for town manager to make necessary related transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
I have some things I'd like to say. First of all, we all know that we're in unprecedented times here, and figuring out the budget and how to make things work for all of us going forward is going to be very difficult. Doug has been working on this with Sam and others in the town for the past couple of weeks, and we greatly appreciate it. I, for one, would like to, there are going to have to be budget cuts, and there are positions which there may very well be, if this is past, layoffs. I would like to propose that for myself. I would like to be willing to take a cut in my pay, make sure that things such as our planning and any other of our boards where salaries would be terminated, I would propose that I would take a cut in my pay so that we can avoid that. So Doug, I don't know, I would like to add that to this. If anyone else has any say on that, please let us know.
I could also support that wholeheartedly if it saves, if it can save money and provide for those who have been cut.
People on our planning and zoning boards, very, very hard for very little money as it is. So I'd be willing to do what I could to try to preserve that.
I think this is consistent with what we discussed in the other finance meeting, and the idea was put out there, and I feel like the entire board is very supportive of this idea, taking a pay cut on our salaries, minor though they are, to make sure that less damage is done.
So I guess that might be, would that be a separate thing for us to consider, Doug? Should we consider this budget first?
Yeah, if I could just share some numbers here with you, because I just penciled some numbers. So the 4 town board members make $5,165 a year. And then the town supervisor makes just over $20,000 a year. You've already been paid for 1 quarter. That leaves 3 quarters of pay left for the year. So if I take the $5,165 that each of the board members gets and divide it by the 4 quarters, you each make about $1,250 per quarter, okay? So if we were to say that all 5 of you gave up $3,000, essentially foregoing the majority of your salary for the rest of the year, that would be $15,000. My proposal to you when it came to budget cuts for the elimination going forward of the salary for the Planning Board, Zoning Board, and Environmental Conservation Board was $15,500. So if you all gave up essentially your salary for the rest of the year, you could theoretically wash, almost a wash of that proposed cuts for the Planning Board, Environmental Conservation Board, and Zoning Board, or maybe there's some sort of a something halfway in between or something, but that's really up to you guys. If you want to make a proposal or make an amendment, modification, you know, it's about $15,000 either way, so.
At $15,000 spread over all 5 of us, you mean?
So it's $5,165 is what your annual salary is for each of you, okay? And then you get paid, essentially,
Right.
if I were to break that down by quarter, it's $1,250 approximately per quarter. You've been paid for a quarter already, so that leaves about 3 quarters worth of pay left. So if I were to take that 3,000 times all 5 of you, that's the 15,000.
I guess maybe we need to discuss this a little bit more. I don't want I make more than the others, so.
I would say so.
We can
Yeah.
put that differently. I don't want
4
these guys to
times.
be working for nothing either, so.
Maybe what we should do is have it at the next finance team meeting, how
I think it's,
we implement this. I think
I
we're
think
all
that-
behind it.
that's
We
a good-
just talk through the implementation.
I think that's a good idea. I thought I was
Yeah, I think-
misunderstanding, but I don't think you guys should work for nothing either. So, let's figure this out, all right? So to go back to the resolution as it is, do we have any further discussion on 2020-106?
So Kathy, I guess then if you guys don't want to enact that proposal, I need you to make some sort of an amendment to it, whether it's increasing the revenue by 15,000 and reducing the expenditures by 15,000, or what you're going to do. I mean, it still needs to be a balanced budget. So
Right.
it's
Now, I
not
would-
quite simple as holding it off.
No,
I just need to know what you want to do. So.
My proposal is to do it the way we have it and then figure out a way to amend it, but that's
To make an adjustment.
right.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And we can crunch the numbers and see where we really are and find that middle ground to make it work for everybody.
Would that be a nightmare for you, Doug? More of a nightmare?
Yes, but that's all right. We'll make it work.
I mean, realistically, our revenue estimate is just that, it's an estimate. And so if we really need to bounce it right now to make you feel better, let's just say that we think the revenue is going to be 15 more. It's within the realm of our error in estimating because nobody knows the future. And so we could do that and then we can have the discussion and then we can take it back out at the point when we're ready to implement. Would that be a way to go, Doug?
Yeah, that's fine. Was there I'm just looking at the overall number because what the resolution adopts a general fund of $3.2 million in revenue and $3.2 million in expenditures. So there's really, it has to be balanced. So if we're going to increase the personnel line by 15,000 to make those 3 lines whole, then I have to increase the revenue by 15,000. So I could just do something like adding that into sales tax. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah,
Linda?
that's what I'm suggesting. I'm saying nobody really knows what sales tax is going to be. So for right now, we'll just put that in there and then we'll go and figure out how to take some of the money out and then adjust it again.
Okay, so then we need to amend the resolution because then the budget that you're adopting is, give me just a second here.
I dropped out for a couple
So
of
it's
minutes.
three
there,
three
thanks to
million 200.
Frontier, so I missed quite a bit of that discussion.
Okay, so the revenue and expenses would be $3,293,720. So we would increase the revenue, we would increase the expenditures back to the 2020 amended new budget would be $3,293,720.
Sounds good.
Could somebody tell me what happened over
Yes,
the
we cut
couple
your,
minutes because I lost?
we cut your salary completely.
Okay. That's
And
what
you're
I
buying
figured.
dinner.
Whoever gets,
You're buying dinner every month.
whoever Frontier drops, cut.
Let's cut Frontier.
And in fact, I have to pay in order to stay.
Yes.
Right.
So
What did-
Terry, to answer your question, what we did is we added back a little bit of money to the revenue estimate to not have to cut the pay of the boards. And then we are going to, in a finance committee meeting, talk about how do we cut our pay so that we can offset some of that, and then we'll make a second budget adjustment.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There's two of you, Terry.
3 of you.
Okay. All right, so
We got to get something other than Frontier in this town.
this is interesting. All right, so
Everybody needs to go on mute if they're not.
yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
I
there we go.
put Terry on mute, but you know, obviously he's a board member, so we need to unmute him, but we're getting a lot of feedback there. Terry, I don't know if
Yeah,
you maybe want to try to reconnect or something. So
Yeah, he dropped
There
out
wasn't
again.
any feedback. Doug's just been trying to mute Terry for 15 years now and finally has a way to do it.
don't tell my secrets.
So we have to, there you go. Wait, is he back?
Is everybody there?
We're here.
Okay.
Are you there?
I think we are waiting for Terry to come back.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have to take a vote, so I don't,
Yeah.
I suppose we could, we could, I don't want to cut him out. Can someone
Terry?
text him? Just, oh, there he is.
He's back.
He's back. All right.
I'm
All right.
back.
All right. So, Doug, do you want to summarize? I have the numbers here, but, or somebody else want to
Right.
summarize the number, the change?
Yes. So we'll increase. So we were estimating sales tax at 65% of the budgeted amount. So we'll increase that by $15,000. We'll also increase the personnel expenditures in the 100s for the general fund by $15,000. So the new amended budget that you'll be adopting here is $3,293,720.
Okay. So is there any further discussion on that proposed budget changes? Transfers? Okay. All in favor of the resolution as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, resolution number, I'm going to make a motion that we consider resolutions 2020-107, 108, 109, 110, 111, and 112 as a block. Does anyone oppose that?
So moved.
So
All right.
second.
All in favor of those resolutions? I'm sorry,
Aye.
any discussion?
Oh.
I totally forgot to ask if there's any discussion
Aye.
on those resolutions. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 2020-113, authorizing highway superintendent to enter into lease agreement for property located at 5480 Kramer Road and to accept grant of right-of-way on property located at 5511 Rock Oak Hill Road. Someone,
So moved.
Motion.
can I ask whoever has something going on in the background to mute? Any discussion?
I'm sorry, Terry first, who seconded?
Yeah,
I motioned.
after I did.
Whoever.
Thank you.
Okay,
Pick who you want.
any discussion on this? Jim, did you want to say anything?
So you can put the water main where it has to go. Did everybody hear that?
We just heard water main has to go. That's all we heard.
We're gaining his property along the roadway going up to the tanks to allow us to place the two 12-inch water mains off to the side of the road instead of into the road.
All right. Any further discussion on this? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 2020-114, Town of Canandaigua Board of Trustees, resolution for approval and authorization for the Canandaigua Consolidated Capital Improvement Project bid awards and execution of related documents and related actions.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Jim, did you want to be heard on this?
Kathy, I'm just waiting for everybody to vote.
You've been waiting a long time.
We've been waiting 3 years.
Well, we can't hear you.
I just want to say that I did have concerns based upon the current climate, which I know a lot of people here have differing levels of concern, I guess. But I do think it's important that something like this goes forward, especially in light of the grants and all the money and all the work. And this is an opportunity to get things moving. Jim, you and I have had conversations about this, and you know my concerns. But I think my concerns have to just basically being scared about where the finances are going. But I do think that this is an independent thing that can be a great thing and is a very necessary thing. And, all the same precautions have to be taken for building, even though this is considered obviously a necessary thing. So you have all convinced me that I knew it was the right thing to do. I just was concerned about doing it now, but convinced me. So, and thank you for all the work Terry and Jim and MRB and everyone involved has done. Caitlin, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you, Kathy.
Anyone else?
it's a very collaborative effort.
Yes, absolutely. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Jim, you can breathe now. Well, maybe not, but. Okay. I would like to, if there's no opposition, I would like to block resolutions 115 and 116. All right, seeing no opposition, can I have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
We have a second, I'll second it. Any discussion?
Good.
All those in favor signify by saying
So
aye.
moved.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion's carried. Resolution number 2020-117, waiving penalty and
Aye.
cancellation fees during COVID-19 pandemic. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
So moved.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution number 2020-118, recognizing efforts of
Aye.
BCB and Tree Board. Okay. Do we have motion to, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Aye.
All right. Next, we have approval of following town board meeting minutes for March 16th, 2020. Can I have a motion to approve? guess we could take them together, March 16th and March 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, corrections, deletions? All those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion to approve minutes carries. Next, we have payment of the bills. Jean,
Yes, the utility abstract dated March 24th, 2020 totaling $1,500, and that was in the water districts. The utility abstract dated April 2nd, 2020 totaling $21,394.48. The general fund was $11,789.81. The highway fund was $6,000, and the water districts was $3,604.67. The abstract dated April 14th, 2020 totaling $428,803.30. The general fund of $133,839.78. Highway fund of $65,355.36. Capital projects, $102,481.81. Lighting districts of $984.95. Water districts of $101,132.20, and the trust and agency of $25,009.20.
So moved.
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any
Nope.
opposed?
Aye.
Was that an aye in favor? All right. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jean.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. Next, we have privilege of the floor if anyone would like to be heard. All right. Any other business? And our last privilege of the floor. All right. I think we have an executive session being requested by town manager for an executive session to discuss the proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property when publicity might affect value. Can I have a motion to move into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion carries. Do we expect any other business to be conducted after the executive session?
No, no action.
And Doug, are you is Doug the only one that's sitting in on that, or is there
And
others?
the town attorney, please.
Thank you.
And are we using the
No,
meeting?
we'll stay right here. Just give me a second. We'll let everybody clear off so we can stay right here.
Okay.
Very good. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thanks for coming in.
Everybody.
Hi, guys.
Give me just a second here. Make sure that.
So can we stop sharing the screen too? That way we
Yes,
can all
give me just a second. I'm still taking people off.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
If you could, please.
Is that why I kept losing the connection?
Yeah. Of course.
That's what Chris Nadler said, but that's not, that wasn't true. I wasn't really trying to get rid of you. All right.
Yeah, my buddy Chris.
I thought he should turn your volume up.
That dark form there. I'm not really sure that's you, Chris.
It's like Darth Vader.
It's the best I can do.
Okay.
iPad 20.
Stop sharing the screen and I can't get rid of that for some reason. I don't know what that is.
Oh, they're gone.
Waiting room. All right.
Who's Town of Canandaigua?
That's me. It's my laptop, and then I'm also on my phone. So, and I'm gonna stop recording this. So, okay.